Hi guys, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome. I just wanted to greet everybody before we do the intro. Welcome everybody. I see Vicky, I see Nebby, I see Bratty Moon. Welcome. This mic's right over here. Dee, how are you? I hope you have a great hike. Shout out to you. Thank you. Pika, shout out to you, Pika. Thank you for being here. Mel, thank you for the replay. Cheeks, how are you, my love? Shout out to everybody. Aries, Mirrored Moon, Sherelle, welcome. You've arrived on time. Okay, let me get this intro going so those notifications can go out. Give the people some time to get in here. Hurry up, people. Get in here. Now let's go ahead and do this little intro. And here we go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits in the chat. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's start the show.
Ooh, we welcome everybody. Welcome, Jay McCarthy. Shout out to you, my love. I missed shouting you out yesterday. I think I saw your membership. Anniversary yesterday. So shout out to you and thank you for supporting my channel. I just wanted to make sure you heard me shout you out. Shout out to everybody. Now let me just say something. I'll save that for some other day. Actually, we're gonna save that for some other day. Welcome everybody. Welcome. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday. Yes, Sunday. You're jamming out to that intro. I'm so happy to hear that, Angel. Shout out to you, Jay McCarthy. Yes, 14 months. I swear that feels like such a long time. Some of you guys, it's been like forever. Like, first of all, I don't know about you guys, but Vicky's been here for I don't know how many months, like forever months. I think she was one of the first people that bought my memberships. Thank you, Vicky. Shout out to Vicky, but also Jay McCarthy, thank you so much for this $2, my friend. Thank you for supporting my channel. And hold up, Pika, 25 freaking months. Lord have mercy. Shout out to Pika. Streak to the like button, y'all. Please and thank you. Hit that like. Please and thank you, Pika. It's been forever. I appreciate you, Pika. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And I know it feels like forever, right? That's right, $2 make you holler. Aries, you're so messy, I swear. I thought it said happy birthday. Happy Bunday. Thank you, Mirror Moon. Shout out to Mirror Moon. Lord have mercy. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the $2 because it makes you holla. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mirror Moon. I appreciate it. And Night Charm, unmedicated but very educated. Okay. Maybe it's the other way around. Night Charm, thank you. I saw your video yesterday, by the way. Shout out to you, Night Charm. I love it. I love Night Charm. Thank you. Another day one. Forever, forever, forever. Thank you, guys. I was talking to somebody about my day ones. I said, I got some day ones here that have seen me through some crazy ass shit. Some of which people will never understand, right? But some of the ones like Night Charm, Just a Tea Please Vicky, the very, very first ones, they understand. They understand. They know what the craziness of YouTube is. Don, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Shout out to you. Thank you, Don. I finally made another live. Micah, thank you for being here. Don, shout out to you. Thank you again. I appreciate you. Micah, thank you. I'm glad you made it. Thank you. Venus Blue, how are you? Shout out to you, the only Angie. Shout out to you. I was thinking it didn't say $2. How are you? This bitch, Don Play. This bitch, I was gonna say something different when I saw your name. Like, what's that one Rihanna song? Ponde Replay. For whatever reason, when I see the play, it reminded me of Ponde Replay. But anyways, let me stop. Thank you. I know that's right. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, my love. He said, I heard you were a messy in the beginning. So sad I missed it. It hasn't quite changed though, right? I don't think it's changed. I was pretty much a mess, like literally. I don't think it's changed. People were always mad at me, and I think it's gotten a little bit better. But I mean, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, yeah. I would probably agree with that. I was a mess at the beginning. Maybe I still am. I just, I've rehabilitated a little bit, just a little bit. Where do I put my drinks? I don't want to spill it. Here it is. I'm very thank you. I'm very demure these days. I'm very demure. Very what's the other word? Very demure, very appropriate, very ladylike, very cute. Demure. And sometimes I get out of order. We get out of order over here. It is what it is. I found some old videos of a feud you had, and I just like, really? You found some old videos of a feud? Listen, there are still people that try to hashtag me, revive some bullshit, and you know what I do? I just ignore. Yeah, I really do. Like, I'm like, listen, I don't if I don't I get to choose what I want to respond to. I do be getting into a lot of fuels, whatever. It is what it is. But I own what I say on this app and on my channel. But it is what it is. But shout out to shout out to the people that try to wake it up. Okay, cool. Yeah, my chat is always very messy. Shout out to my chat. Messy balls. Very demure messy balls. Okay. Guys, we have very, very much to get into. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hit that like. It doesn't hurt you. It's free 99. Welcome. We have so much to get into. And shout out to everybody that has super stickered me. Thank you. And super chatted me. Y'all are amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about who we got. Interesting lineup. So we got Elizabeth Holmes from the Theranos. We got BJ Penn, who claims that his living family is dead. Okay. And then we have a lawsuit with the Epstein Files. Guys, that's interesting in itself because I said, oh my God, didn't they say that they were going to release them and then they didn't? What happened there? And then we have some jury duty questionnaires that have been released. Some of the questions for this RICO case on Diddy have been released. So I'm curious about that. I've seen a couple. I try to log into Pacer, but I think it's like under maintenance or whatever. So I can't even get into the account right now. Thank you. Pinche Becky, shout out to you. Thank you for the 5. But you are our hot mess and we love it. Thank you, Pinche Becky. Shout out to Pinche Becky. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a minute. Hope you're doing okay. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you. Thank you. We aren't messy. We are loud and unapologetic. Don't ever forget. Unapologetic. That's for sure. So let's get into it. We have very, very much things to review. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and start a poll here to get an idea of where everybody's at. Let's start with, so we have Diddy questions. Put Diddy there. And then we have Elizabeth Holmes. Some of you guys may not know that lady. You know, it's the one with the voice changer, Elizabeth Holmes. And then we have the Epstein Files. And then we have the BJ Penn, the BJ Penn controversy that's happening. Guys, go vote. Hit the like button while you're voting. And shout out to everybody that's here. Thank you for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. You poll trolls unite. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. And by the way, so I was working on a video where I wanted to be on location for the Billy McFarland Fire Festival 2. I'm working on a video so that we're on location for the Fire Festival. I'm gonna be on location. Stay tuned, okay? That's what I gotta say. Stay tuned, because we will be on location at Fire Festival. You think it's a wasted talent? James, say more. Listen, I remember BJ when BJ Penn, when what happened? When the Maui fires happened, and he was very vocal, very, very vocal. But yes, thank you. Yes, and happy Palm Sunday for those who celebrate. Thank you for saying that. Naomi Keene resurfaced at all. No, she's been very quiet. I was thinking about Naomi Keene the other day too. I searched. Hopefully, she's getting help, because the lady does need help. Honestly, she does. So hopefully, she's getting some help. But anyways, let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see, my friends. Okay, we got Diddy. Get started with the Diddy, BJ Penn, Epstein Files, and Elizabeth Holmes. Okay, let me switch it up a little bit for those. Let me switch it up a little bit. I want to talk about, let's start with Diddy, okay? Let's start with Diddy real quick. So, Diddy docket on her IG, and like I said, I'm trying to get into Pacer, but Pacer is down on my end. Hold up. Let me see if I could try it again. Pacer login. Yep. Look, I get this little sad Mac message. It isn't working. I think it's like under what is it? Under maintenance or something. You know how websites, they go under maintenance. So I'm starting to see these questions. Now, these are the questions that are being used, for this potential jurors, right? I don't know how you can get somebody impartial. I'm going to be honest with you. It's very hard to find somebody who wouldn't know who Diddy is at this point, okay? Or who didn't watch the CNN video. Oh, is it, Nicole? Thank you. It's under maintenance. I saw it yesterday. Pacer was going to be under maintenance. Thank you. I appreciate you, Nicole. See, shout out to everybody that watches the Pacer like I do. Love the Diddy docket. They never miss a beat. Shout out to the Diddy docket. If you don't follow on Twitter, go follow. They never miss a beat. Anyways, let's get into these questions, because I saw some of them and I said, oh man, all right then. So this is just a question. Hold up. I'm trying to set everything. I never understand why Rabbit puts out a poll when she knows the order that she will talk about in those matters. I do it because I want to understand kind of what everybody's here for. That's why. But I do get a sense of like what I want to start with. But I also want to know what the audience is here for. So that's why I do it, Andrew. Thank you though. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody. Maggie says happy Sunday. Shout out to everybody for those that are coming through. Let's talk about, look at, you're laughing. Senrisa's like, yeah, I'm laughing. It's true though. It's true. I do be putting that out there. I do. I give you a false sense of choice. Just like this, the elections, right? False sense of choice. That's how I deal with it. Shout out to everybody. Anyways, let me stop. Okay. Good morning, everybody coming through. So here we have the Diddy docket questions, right? At least some of them. The defense wants to ask jurors if the graphic video or photographs that they that may include sexually explicit or violent material will affect their ability to be impartial. This is in the matter of the U.S. versus Holmes. The defense wants to ask jurors if graphic videos of photographs that may include sexual, explicit, or violent material will affect their ability to be impartial. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Hmm? Do you think that it'll affect everybody's ability to be impartial after that CNN video? Even though the CNN video isn't really like, they're not charging, it's not like the smoking gun, I would say, right? I think that's how you would say that. It's not the smoking gun. But I do agree that it does. It really does. Yeah, it affects your ability. It would affect my ability, I'm not gonna lie, to be impartial. Mhm. I would agree. You said, "Well, duh." Yeah. Further says, there may be evidence of graphic videos and photographs, including videos of physical violence in connection with this case. Would such evidence interfere with your ability to sit fairly and impartially in a hearing the evidence or the lack of evidence? In hearing the evidence or lack of evidence? Yes or no, please explain. I don't know. Like, how do you this is, I mean, I guess it's best to ask. You know what I mean? It's best to ask. You think it's a legitimate jury question? Do you think that, like, what would be an honest answer? I remember when I had to do jury duty and I had to like answer specific questions, like, because they give you a questionnaire, right? It's a number game, it's like a numbers game. And then they, you kind of go through the numbers. And I remember I was sitting there like with a shitload of people in the room. Then they go by numbers. All right. And then that's how they dwindle down. And I remember they were giving me these questions and somehow I got picked um to sit, which I'm glad that I did. It was a great experience. That was actually on my bucket list. I'd like to do jury duty again, believe it or not. It's an interesting process. I'm gonna be honest with you. It really is. And the case that I got was very interesting as well. But anyways, and that was many years ago. So I just don't know, how do you, I mean, you answer honestly, right? You would answer honestly. You'd say, yeah, it would affect me. And then do they go eliminating people based on that? The only people who can be impartial would be people just waking up from 25-year coma. Honestly. Honestly. You said, "Sure, but guilty is guilty, isn't it?" So if the video speaks for itself, then why would being impartial even have to be a question, since Baggy? Um, because I don't think that the video in itself is what is necessarily, and by the way, I don't even know, let me just, is this the only material? The video, I'm sure that there's probably other videos that we haven't seen that are also part of the mix here, so keep that in mind. It wouldn't be human not to be affected. You can see why it takes so long to select jury. Yeah. Mhm. I couldn't sit on a drunk I couldn't sit on a drunk driving case or sexual assault case. I sat on a child sexual assault case. Um and that was interesting. Mhm. That was interesting to sit there. You would, yeah. Let me just say that much. I've always thought jury duty was neat. I can't wait for the opportunity. Yeah, you said no way. I would never want jury duty. Really, I liked it. It was. I would recommend. Um, I was there for a week, so it was an interesting process. Let me just say that much. In my opinion, Diddy going to use every excuse to dismiss jurors. Any. But he has to have jurors, though. If he wants a trial, he's gonna have to have jurors. So, I mean, you have to at least hope that the defense has like something in somebody impartial there. Maybe it's the way in which they're wording the question that needs to be worded different. I don't know. Maybe it's the question. You said, I think it's a fair question. However, pictures as evidence would be something to be part of the deciding factor. Right. We don't know. We only know of the CNN video, and even that isn't really he's not being charged for the CNN video, guys. That's not like the situation, you know? So if we're only we don't know what else they have, but say they have like I'm just thinking in my mind, right? Because this is about freak offs. to a certain degree. Freak offs and the victimization, there are people that were in these freak offs that did not consent. That's what it sounds like, right? We have victims and we have witnesses and whatever. That's what we have. And then we have drugs and, baby oil and stuff like that. But I'm thinking of like, I'm imagining pictures of maybe adult things, material supplies or whatever that people would use at a freak off. And so if that's the only thing that's being used as a evidence, this shouldn't be a trial about this man freak offs. It should be a trial about the fact that he is, you know, coerced people, lied to people, gotten people in these really bad situations, right? And they didn't consent to it in more than one occasion. And it was, you know, various different peoples. Okay. And whatever they have isn't just about freak offs. Nobody cares about that. Like that's the thing, is like the freak off is a freak off, but we should be focused on the fact that there were people that didn't consent and there were people that were maybe coerced to those situations. Does that make sense? That would be what would make people victims of that situation. So I'm wondering, what does the prosecution have, right? What does the prosecution have? What do they have as far as evidence? Defense wants to have possible jurors who may give benefit of the doubt to celebrities and people who are generally wary of police. Then maybe that's the question. Something about police specifically or judgments or something. And if that's how they're going to base how they pick their people. Brady Moon, thank you for the $2. Hope he doesn't get jury that loves him. Just saying. Brady Moon, thank you so much for this $2. I appreciate you. I mean, I hope that he gets a jury that's impartial. Guys, we don't want to go back to this again. And thank you, Brady Moon, for helping me meet my goal. Shout out to you, Brady Moon. Thank you. Hold up. I'm trying to put a little heart. Oh, I missed it. Damn it. No, here it is. A little heart and thumbs up on your thing. Hold on, guys. Hold up. So, yeah, I mean, I think that it's important to have somebody, because we don't want to be back here again. We don't want to be back here again where he's having to be retried. That's the whole point. We want to make sure you get it right the first time. But things do happen. I mean, look at Weinstein right now. Okay. I wasn't picked, but made to the final rounds. Child essay by a father. They chose a jury, then postponed the case. And it, ooh, hold up, y'all. I gotta clear my throat. You said they chose jury, then postponed the case, and happened a few times. Jury, then they cancel. Not sure why. Different reasons. Let me tell you who. I'll give you a hint. I think I might have shared this story before. Before the theater shooting, before James Holmes, that judge that sat there and heard that case, he was the one that sat at the case that I had jury duty for. So before that, like that, that's how I knew that judge. Very cool guy. He's from El Salvador. Um, he was the judge for the case that we sat and heard, and I had jury duty for. And then I want to say maybe a year and a half later, or 2 years and a half late 2 years later, then they had the theater shooting in Aurora. So yeah, the great judge, good judge. He gave us a really good experience, and he's the one that actually, yeah. And that's the thing, is if you're doing jury duty, you're taking off of work. Note that you are going to get paid for your time, but it's not going to be the salary of your work. Okay. So keep that in mind, that judges and the defense and the prosecutors have to really cater to the jury, and make sure that, they treat their jury people right. I mean, it was a good experience. You said if Meek Mill shows up for jury for that jury bench, I'm out. Not Meek Mills. Come on now. Meek, oh my god. Now that would be a very biased jury pool. I'd be terrible at jury services. One look at you're guilty or not. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, you get paid shit to be a jury. That's true. But what I maybe it's because I was in my, how old was I? I was in my 20s when that happened. Was I? Yes. Yes, I was in my 20s. I think for me, I was just amazed by the process and amazed by the way in which people argued and stuff like that. You said, Rabbit, those cases change you though. My sister saw things she can't forget. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I was a, social worker in government. I'm still a social worker, right? I'm at master's level, but doing social work in government, whew, it'll never be the same. Felt bad for others in the jury pool. They paid only $15 per day. What do you do if you can't pay rent? I think mine, I want to say was like $45. No, not 45. I'm sorry, 35. Was it 35, 40? I can't remember. It must have been less. But I think it was the experience that was there. Lunch costs more than you get paid. That's true. No, actually, I think my check was like $50 for that whole week, if I remember correctly. It wasn't. You're right. It wasn't a whole lot. So I made it up by taking PTO, but I wanted to get selected because I wanted the experience of a jury duty, and it was fun. Wait, the jury don't get paid what they lose at work? No, they don't. You don't get paid. So you bring in, if you get selected for jury duty, you don't get paid what you lose at work. It's part of your service. You get paid. I think if I remember, listen, don't quote me. It's been, like I said, I was in my 20s when this happened. I want to say it was like $50 for the whole week that I was there. And yeah, and you might get mileage. Lunch is not included. So yeah, you get $20 a day. They might have increased it because I remember I think it was like $50 for that whole week. I think I might have my jury duty check somewhere. And they give you like a little letter that says, yeah, that you did your service and stuff like that. And then they'll skip you for a couple years, but they might select me again. Who You never know. You never know. Thank you, Jay. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody from Australia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to you, my love. What if it's a long case? I think it's a little bit different. Mine was only there for a week, so it was only there. So if that is, I mean, what's I think it's when they sequester people. Sequestering would be like they take you out of your area and you have to travel outside, and then they pay for your what is it, your room, your board. They pay you for the day and stuff like that. That's a little bit different, but I don't know what, I mean, I've only been gone for a week, and that was for jury duty. I don't know anything other than that. Like, I would imagine that they would help you at least pay for something more than that. But I just, for me, yeah. You said, Rabbit, as a content creator, I would not want you on my jury. I would not be on your first of all, Andrew, let's just hope you don't ever have to face something like that. I don't think I could dare do it. I can't do it now. Because I'm sure that that would probably be one of the questions. Like, back then I was, working a regular schmegular 9 to 5 type of situation. But I mean, I didn't have the social media following that I have now. I probably couldn't do jury duty now. And I would totally be honest with the judge and, people. I'd be like, this is what I do. So they probably wouldn't want me to be in there anyways. But it was amazing. And I would suggest, if you get selected, if you're into the court stuff, it's an amazing experience to be doing jury duty. I was on a federal jury duty, and each state is different how much they pay. I can tell you Tennessee don't pay shit. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. You said, I meant if I were an attorney, I would not want any content creators. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Rabbit designated job is gathering the bail money. That's right. I object. Listen, let me just say that much. If you get we on a jury duty rabbit hole here. If you ever get selected, now I'm kind of curious. Has anybody here been actually selected? If you get selected, let me know if you've ever been selected, right? It's a trip. It's an experience. I was happy to be there. I was doing my little notes. You have to leave your notes there, of course. It's you can't talk about the case with the other people. It's like the itch you can't scratch. So it's definitely an experience depending on the case. And that was a very interesting case, I would say. But that's what I'm gonna say about that. I don't even want to really get into it, even though I probably could talk about it now, but I'm not going to. But yeah, it's an interesting case. Someone I know is appearing as a witness in a case. They will be paid their usual daily wage, though their employer and them reimburse them by our government. Wow. Rabbit will be like the judge. I'm the rabbit. No, this is what no, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm gonna say this.
When you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order.
You're out of order. The whole trial's out of order. Judge, you're out of order. And then be like, what? And I'm gonna make sure I'm live streaming. I'm gonna live stream the you're out of order. Yep.
When you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Everybody's out of order. Okay, anyways, moving on. The next question. There may be evidence of sexually explicit videos, photographs, and language in connection with this case. Would such evidence interfere with your ability to sit fairly and impartially in hearing the evidence or the lack of evidence? Ooh. And then please explain. Would you be able to listen, discuss matters of sexual nature with fellow blah, blah, blah? And I can't even get into the other one. I think it's cut off. But that should give you an idea of what this selected jury is going to be dealing with. Okay. Keep that in mind. You get $14 a day and the benefits of not being fired from your job. Well, there you go. So it's a loaded question for a jury. I would say there's got maybe, I don't know, reframe it a little bit different. But that is a loaded question. But it's a straightforward question, right? Because you don't want to play word games with these people either. You know what I mean? You really don't. So you do have to be careful. Careful. Yeah, and then they say, would such evidence interfere with the ability to sit fairly and impartially in hearing evidence or the lack of evidence? You notice how they threw the lack of evidence in there? What is that supposed to mean? Read between the lines. All right. Moving on, guys. Moving on. Let's talk about Elizabeth Holmes, the Theranos lady. Do y'all know who she is? Okay, let me know. Let's talk about it. Elizabeth Holmes asked for rehearing on appeal. Now, let me pull this article over here so I can actually read it. So the disgraced Theranos founder, Elizabeth Holmes, is asking a panel of judges to rehear her latest appeal. Holmes is serving an 11 years in prison for defrauding investors with her Palo Alto blood testing startup company, Theranos. Now, my mic unplugged. Theranos. We were talking about Billy McFarland, right? Yeah. Somebody came into my comments, and I think that there's a comparison to be made here, which I thought was very interesting. Elizabeth Holmes wants to, she still wants to work in the, is there an echo? Do you hear an echo? Let me know if you hear it. The blood testing. I might be unplugged. Hold up. Oh, yes. I am back. Let me know. No mic? I'm back. Let me know. You guys still hear an echo? Echo still? Okay. I'm like, I just fixed it, y'all. Okay. Thank you. Okay. There might be a comparison here between Billy McFarland, the Fire Festival 2 guy. By the way, no updates yet. Listen, I'm still waiting. We're still waiting. There might be a bit of a comparison. Billy McFarland with Fire Festival, who also, the wire frauds, the altering documents, the defrauding investors type of situation. There might be a little bit of a comparison to Billy with Elizabeth Holmes. I kind of agree. Somebody was in my chat the other day and left me a really good comment and said, if you think about it, there's a bit of some cross referencing. Elizabeth Holmes is still behind bars wanting to do some blood work miracle thing. She's still thinking about building some kind of machine or something that identifies illnesses. Billy McFarland, there you go, silly McFarland, identifies illnesses like by like a little thing, just like Billy wants to do a fire festival. And I thought about that. I said, there are some comparisons here to a certain degree. Now, I started even, and this might be a whole different video that I do, because I did a Billy McFarland video. I did 2 of them where I was really looking into a little bit and giving commentary about the things that he was saying. He's MIA right now, Billy McFarland. We don't know where he's at. I mean, listen, guys, I am trying, we're going to be on location. We are going to be on location. And I mean it. Look, this is going to be us. We're going to be on location, reporting live in Playa del Carmen. I'm there now, and it's empty. I don't see anything here. But, of course, they're still setting up. It's not the dates yet, not until May 30th. But I'm going to make sure I'm on location. Listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get myself a little, margarita, and we're going to get some sun. We're going to go right on location, reporting live. This is just the beach. There's no fire. They said that we were going to ATV to the jungle. There's no jungles in Playa del Carmen. They said that you could wrestle in the sand with the pop star and swim with the sharks with the pop star. There might be sharks because, it is the beach, but there's no pop star. So this is going to be us. We will be reporting live. I promise. We will be. You know what, though? That's interesting. In the autism world, it's called, yes, preservation. Being fixated on something to be a problematic degree, or like being fixated to the point that you just want to like fix it, right? Like they're stuck. He's stuck. Elizabeth Holmes, Billy McFarland. Whereas, I have severe ADHD. I'm a procrastinator. Like I leave shit to last minute, which is horrible for me to do. And sometimes I know it's coming and I still ignore it. You said your son is at Coachella today. I heard Coachella was a hot mess at one point. They were listen, Coachella said, no, we're not doing it. You will not compare us to Billy McFarland. By the way, shout out to Missy Elliott. The Queen did well. I love it. Her music, timeless. Her performances, timeless. Okay, nothing compared to the people, to the women today, where it's like they gotta, So, hey, listen, I'm just gonna say it. People gotta get naked and show their ass cheeks. You see Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is amazing. She does her. I love Missy. Anyways, let me stop. What did my song say? And unmedicated. Okay. But anyways, that was us reporting live, and we might report live again. I'm doing a deep dive into some of these investors in Mexico in Fire Festival too. But anyways, let's talk about Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, our girl over here, okay, she said, guys, let me do my voice changer. Toot toot. First they say you're crazy, then they think you're a lunatic, and then you take over the world. Disgraced Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes is asking a panel of judges to rehear her latest appeal. Okay, Holmes is serving 11 years in prison for defrauding investors. In February, she made a bid to get out of prison, which was shot down. All right, listen, Elizabeth Holmes. If you want to get out of here, stop talking about trying to do Theranos again, or trying to no, not happening. Don't get near anything medical, any monies, anything like that, or any of that. No, we're not doing that. In February, she made a bid. Okay, so then the San Jose Mercury News reports in a court filing this week, her attorneys are arguing that the judges were confused and illogical when hearing the evidence in February. Holmes' team is asking for judges to rehear her appeal case. Neither Holmes' attorney nor the United States Department of Justice have commented. So she said, please let me out. First, they think you're crazy. Then they think you're annoying. Then they're taking over the world. Blah, blah. I can't even do her voice anymore. It's hard. Did y'all hit that like button? Her voice is, well, by the way, Noah, she lost her voice. She's no longer talking like this. which I think it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. It feels like she felt like she had to dominate by, taking over the voice box, taking over the Steve Jobs, turtlenecks. It is like, girl, more power to you. Be a woman and take over and dominate. Well, wait a minute. Let me stop. She never really dominated. She like defrauded people, right? Um but like it would have been nice to have had somebody not try to be like a shapeshifter and try to take over a male role, or at least pretend to be somewhat more masculine by her voice. I didn't like that shit. I thought it was crazy, and she lied. Okay, she lied. But apparently, yeah, big difference. She's lost her voice. She's not sounding like this anymore. She's not sounding like this anymore. Her voice is even lower now. Whatever. So she lied. Moving forward, okay, let's talk about. I want to talk about this. Lord have mercy. I didn't know. I learned something today. Like I learned something over the weekend, and I have the lawsuit that I want to review maybe in a separate video. But I had a the more you know moment. And I swear, when I learn something new, it literally the song plays in my head. The more you know. I didn't know that you can sue if you don't get like your FOIA requests. I had no idea. Did y'all know that? I mean, I'm sure Andrew and my beautiful one, like Vicky and all y'all, beautiful attorneys knew, but I didn't know. Like Franny Law, I'm sure you guys knew, but I didn't know that if you like, you can actually sue if you're not getting your your FOIA request. I had no idea. So Judicial Watch, which is kind of like a blog thingy, sues Justice Department for Epstein client lists. So Judicial Watch announced today, this was Friday, that it filed a Freedom of Information Act FOIA lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Justice for records regarding Jeffrey Epstein, including any records on the identities of clients or associates of Epstein. So Judicial Watch sued the Department of Justice after it failed to adequately respond to 4 separate FOIA requests for records concerning Jeffrey Epstein, including a specific request for records depicting the identities of clients or associates of Epstein. And Epstein documents requests were sent to the Justice Department Office of Information Policy, the Criminal Division, and 2 separate requests were sent to the FBI. So they're being referenced in Fox News, which states that President Trump's return to the Oval Office came with the prospect of the public finally being able to see Epstein's long-awaited Black Book. And of course, you guys know that. Listen, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say this. Those influencers that went out there to the White House, they had their cute little folders and binders. By the way, that's Baby Bunny art. I'm so mad. She wrote on my blue content creator book. They were out there with their high little heels and their Starbucks coffee cups and their white little suits and their little ties, high heels, high to the sky, social media influencers going to the White House, and they said, look, guys, we got the Epstein files right over here. Right over here. They're in my Trapper Keeper right over here. And it said FBI official Epstein files. And they gave it to these social media influencers. You had all these people that traveled to the White House to go get these Epstein files. And guess what? That shit was already released. It's repeated information that's already been released in their little fancy notebooks. They didn't release anything. These social media influencers look like idiots. I'm sorry, y'all did. You fell for it. You basically played PR for some fake news. It's official, already released FBI files. I was looking at, I literally all these House and Habit. There was a bunch of other ones that were on TikTok. They were so excited. You had the likes of Liz Crokin, a bunch of people out there just playing a fool. I said, I was laughing so hard. Now, I felt bad, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I don't. Because y'all should have been smarter. It's the fucking White House. What do y'all think? Hmm? What do you guys think? We can't trust none of these mother effers. I'm sorry. You can't. You cannot. Okay? So now you got this lawsuit, and I'm out here for it. I love the fact that people are suing whatever side you stand on. Yes, there should be a lawsuit. Now, I didn't know that you can sue if you don't get your little FOIAs. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Now I know. I swear, I was reading that and I said, "Oh, the more you know is playing in my head. The more you know, da da da." Yeah. And it was hyped, much hype. Nearly 200 pages of documents dumped, provided no big revelations. We're waiting out here with the little, those little meetings with the little tumbleweeds. That was me. That was them, and that was me just waiting. I said, "What happened? What had happened?" But they used those social media influencers to push an agenda. Stop getting used. This is the fucking White House, the president. They don't give a shit about us. Like, wake up. I'm sorry. It's how I feel. Okay? They used you. You thought you were special.
Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. You are not special. Just because you run a social media account and you get invited to the White House, you better make sure. I would have been there and been like, boy, page 25 looks like the one that was released back in this year that's available to everybody. I'd have been there with my little highlighter and my little, Post-its. Oh, Paige, does your copy? I remember this was released back in this. Did you get the same? That would have been me. I would have been kicked out, y'all. You are not special. I'm sorry, but they use these social media influencers. I thought it was hilarious. But anyways, side note, I would have been pissing people off. You guys know how I am. I don't care who and what. I would have been. They didn't invite me, Kat. No, they didn't. They said no. Just like they won't put me back on jury duty anymore. They didn't invite me this time. Damn it. Damn it. Anyways, moving on. Moving on. I know, right? I would have been escorted. And then I would have lost my shit. And then I'd have been like sitting there and be like, you guys are out of order.
When you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order.
Everybody. They knew better. Moving on. All right. So I'm here for it. I didn't know that you could sue, but now I know. I said, "Oh, okay, cool." So simply put, the Justice Department needs to respond to the public demands for transparency under law and release the Epstein Files under FOIA. And this is what the president of Judicial Watch is saying. And I completely agree. I may not agree with a lot of the political agendas, but it's one thing that I do agree with, and I think we can all come together and say, stop making promises that you can't fucking keep, and stop making promises that you won't provide. And all these politicians need to stop only calling us when they need something from us, which is only every 4 years. Every 4 years. This is why I can't with these people, regardless on what side you're on. Okay, that's how I feel. Happy Sunday. Moving on. Okay. Let's talk about another bizarre situation right now. This is a little bit bizarre, all right? Do you guys know BJ Penn? BJ Penn is like this he's the ex UFC fighter, all right? Now the reason why I knew of BJ is because I got family in Hawaii, so there's that. But also in the Maui fires, this guy really made a huge noise about what was happening with the Maui fires and whatnot. And he brought some attention to a lot of things, which I thought was great. But there's some stuff happening with him, and he's a public figure, of course. His family is well known in the area, and he's very, very well known. You said, I wonder if he's got problems with CTE. I'm a little worried about that. And people are saying that he's having a mental breakdown, but he's saying that his living family was murdered. Make that make sense, right? I'm wondering about this. I'm a little concerned because there is no cure to any of this, right? CTE, there's no cure whatsoever. This guy, ex UFC fighter, we've seen it a couple times with some folks that, play football or in boxing or any kind of sport that causes trauma to the brain and stuff like that. We have seen it. So I'm a little worried about the things that he is saying and stuff like that. He has, and this is kind of, if you were to put a timeline or track record of CTE, it kind of aligns itself a little bit with this. But just listen to this. It's a horrible situation. So the ex-UFC fighter or star claims his family has been murdered, replaced in disturbing social media posts. Now, I thought he might have taken this down or anything. No, it's still up. It's still up. This has been going on for about a month where he's been making like a lot of posts that are a little concerning. Are we seeing somebody with CTE? Are we seeing this play out publicly? Every CTE case that I've seen play out publicly has a horrific outcome. I'm going to be honest with you. Truly, it does. It does. Yep. You're right. You're right. Looking beyond. We've seen cases like this where family members are murdered, okay, or wives and spouses are murdered, or they commit, S and stuff like that. So really horrible situation. Is BJ Penn, excuse me, is he somebody who is clearly going through something like this very awful? And I hope that he gets the help that he needs, because we're seeing it kind of play out here. Or somebody else has alleged, is the other person who has said that he might be under the influence of drugs. Could be both. Could be both. This could be a dual situation, right? Which does happen. People will treat, they use substances to treat things, side effects and stuff like that. But I hope it's not the case, right? Because track record to show, all right? I hope it's not the case for BJ Penn. Track record has shown that CTE, it has very tragic results. And people really need to jump on that. I have yet to see anybody really have like this and be like in treatment or be able to do well with it. You said, yeah, two things can be true at the same time. You said there's a woman on TikTok who thinks Theo James is a cannibal, but I'm not sure if it's real. Oh, yeah. You said that's what happened to that wrestler, that WWE wrestler. And I've had a lot of people go into my comments and say like, hey, this guy right here, he like murdered his whole family and stuff like that. It's a horrible situation. He could have had some really bad shrooms. It's true. Shout out to Jay, says, hi there. I'm a UFC fan here. BJ situation is that combination of CT and heavy drug use as well. There's previous records of harassment reports from his family. Jay, isn't there like a DV? I heard that there was a recent DV family situation that happened. I'm a little worried. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it doesn't sound like this is a situation where people can be reasoned with. And I'm not an expert at this. Please note that I've heard a lot of studies and stuff like that. But Jay, like, let me know. And if you're I'm sure that you probably follow this a lot more closely. And I'm thinking about doing a bit of a deep dive to this too, because I want to understand what we're seeing here. People theorize this about Gary Busey. Interesting. CTE as well? Well, what sports did Gary Busey do? I'm curious now. In all seriousness, if it's bad, I hope he gets help. If there's any way to medicate CTE, I don't think that there's no cure for CTE. He thought his mom was the CIA. His mom is like so sweet, guys. The lady, so when the Maui fires were happening, which I did cover on, BJ was thinking about running for office, right? And I thought it would have been great, because he like great to have a local from the area type of situation. His mom was going on live and trying to endorse his son. So I'm trying to figure out like what happened. And what I love it when people can call out any of the political people. Like, shout out to everybody that does that, right? And I think he was doing a great job. I might not necessarily agree with all the agendas, because you know how I am. I'm kind of like impartial. I don't think one side is better than the other, but he was doing, I thought, a really good job in calling out just how people weren't doing their jobs or just the craziness out of the Maui fires. And I still stand by that. There was a lot of mistakes and misreporting with the Maui fires, and he was the one that did very well. I thought he did amazing, but it did make me wonder a little bit about this. Oh, you said TBI. Gotcha. Um, it could be a side effect of this use. I agree. Gotcha. So I think Gary Buse's was a TBI, right? Where CTE is a little bit different. CTE, I think, is the constant, what is it? Is it the constant pounding of the brain? Hold up. So it's like repeated blows to the head. So chronic traumatic, and I don't know how to say the E. All right, so CTE, which can lead to a buildup of protein called tau in the brain. This protein clumps and malfunctioning eventually kills brain cells, causing a progressive neurodegenerative disease. So he doesn't get better. Whereas a TBI would be just an like a one instance type of situation. CTE would be a repetitive pounding of the brain. So those are two different things. And so then there's this protein that grows and essentially it fucks up your brain, right? Gary did play college football. Oh, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay. Continuous, like concussions and stuff like that. So it's very much multiple, untreated. That's right. Okay, so let's get into this. So the UFC Hall of Famer, former champion BJ Penn, is claiming that his family has been murdered and replaced by imposters or with imposters. Penn revealed that he believed to be evidence in a series of disturbing Instagram posts, making the claim that multiple family members of his have been replaced by imposters who killed his actual family. This is scary. Okay, this is very scary because here you have somebody who has an impeccable skill set where his body is a weapon, right? UFC fighter, your hands, your arms, all of this, y'all, those are weapons. You have to register those, right? This is like, those are weapons. Scary. So I hope that people have somewhat of a safety plan around BJ. That's how I think needs to happen. Like there needs to be a safety plan around this man because that is very scary to really think that. Okay. Yes, it's permanent and uncurable. So thank you for saying this. Let's keep going. It further says Penn revealed that what he believes to be evidence in a series of disturbing Instagram posts, making claims that multiple family members of his have been replaced by imposters who killed his actual family. My mother, Lorraine Shin, my brother, J.D. Penn, my brother, Reagan Penn, and my brother, Kalani, were all murdered. And I need police to investigate these guys, get these people out of my house and off my property. This is what his post says. So, like, this is his mom. Okay. Hilo Police Department, I need your help. My mother, Lorraine Shin, my brother, JD Penn, my brother Reagan, and this is why I just read this. So he's asking for an investigation. In videos, Penn revealed numerous images of his family members and point out features such as their eyes, ears, freckles, and mouth as evidence to his claims, alleging that they do not look like their real selves. Real JD has all of his teeth and pointed chin. Penn says in a voiceover on one of his photos, fake JD is taller and has a crooked front teeth and no back teeth, even though me, JD, and Reagan never had cavities in our entire lives. So it feels like his family has been replaced. If I harm any of these people that are acting like my mom or brother, I go to jail and I lose everything. I don't like the sound of this, okay? If they harm me, nothing will happen to them and I lose everything. I may have black belts over the years and are police officers. Wait. Over the years that are police officers. Are you guys going to help me? Are we going to help JD and Reagan and my mother look for them and investigate these fake frauds who are trying to steal everything from my family? He's not well, guys. He's not well. He also shared text messages, which he pressed his family for images of their features, as well as images he took himself up close. If I harm any of these people that are acting like my mom or my brother, I go to jail. Okay. So he's alleging that people who he believes are impersonating his family or out for his assets, and is calling for DNA testing and police investigation. His mom does own several properties in Hawaii as well, so please note that. Um, it's a sad, scary situation, guys. Crazy thing is that he was trying to run for mayor. Yeah, he was trying to run for mayor a couple years ago, and he was already on those abuse charges. See, I didn't know that from his families back then. Jay, does he have his moments or what? Like, does he just kind of like, or is this a substance abuse thing? What do you think, Jay? I'm curious to know since you follow this, and I'm gonna do maybe a separate video on this because I'm curious about it and I want to look into it. Well, that's the thing is like, I have a family member had, well, you know, their families that, have like really severe mental disorders. And, you know, you have to be able to, like, if they don't take their medication, okay, and I'm speaking for myself, if they don't take their medication, if they're not taking care of themselves, you need to be able to plan around that. And part of that is also having a conversation and helping them understand, what it looks like when they're not medicated, how unsafe they can be. And so having a safety plan with their knowledge is important, and putting that out there. I've seen that happen. It's okay. Like, I think the biggest thing you can do is accept what's happening, and also plan around that. And it's not a plan against them, it's a plan for safety for everybody, including the person around. So I very much advocate for people to understand how important it is for folks to, take care of yourselves. You said, I wonder if he is in constant state of paranoia and he comes in and out of like episodes. I agree. I agree. That could very well be the case. Oh yeah, and he looked up here, look up JB Penn's, keep saying JD. Okay. BJ Penn Records mom. It's a combination of both. He was a champion and a crazy fighter. Rumor that he was doing coke and hard drugs for pain. They kind of align themselves. Wim, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. If you've been blessed by Wim, thank you. Put some hearts, confettis, everything in the chat. I like the confettis. Put the confettis in the chat. Thank you, Wim. Appreciate it. Thank you. Grateful for you filling us in on this stuff, Rabbit. It helps having explained things, makes everything easier. Thank you, so I appreciate you. Thank you for that. You like that. That's the thing about how do we get away from the stigma of mental illness? And as somebody who's like I said, I gotta unapologetically, I got people in my family who, you gotta make plans around. I because I love them, because you love them, because you don't want them to be hurt and you don't want them hurting people. And that's me's personal experience. All right. Like, I know what that's like. So yeah, you have to be able to plan around that. This CTE stuff is no joke. All these is anything with the brain is no joke, you absolutely do. I can't look after you if I'm not around anyone due to an episode. It means distance for a while. Then that's just what it were. Yeah. You have to be careful. The condition is often associated with mental issues like schizophrenia or neurodegenerative diseases. I wonder, and let me be very clear, has he been diagnosed formally with CTE? I have to look this up because I'm throwing this out here, but I want to know if it's true. I've heard that that's the case. I just don't know if he's acknowledged that. But it makes sense. Any UFC boxers, football players, anybody that has any sport, within the body, and then they're hitting you in their head. Yeah, it's something to definitely look into. You said maybe he needs nursing care. Maybe. Thank you. The pantyhose. Your name, girl. Coming out of the bush to say thank you. Excellent conversation. Well, shout out to you, and I love your name. Shout out to you. I only do it for the confetti. Well, thank you, Wim. Shout out to you. I wonder if he's even well enough to be tested. I don't know. See, has he been tested? Because you have to get tested for that. He hasn't been already. So, okay. This is interesting. So it could be a combination of things. So that'll help me with maybe when I look into this little research. But I'm assuming a CTE because it could be, but I don't know. That is true. I forgot about this piece. CTE can't be officially diagnosed alive, sadly. Yeah. Thank you for saying this. I forgot about this piece. So the reason why we found out about CTE and the protein in the brain is because those individuals have died. Aaron Hernandez was another one too. So thank you. Like we can't, there is no treatment because we can't really diagnose while you're living. Thank you. I appreciate it. For you guys saying that. But if there is, I wonder if there's like an assessment that'll lead us to that. You know what I mean? Because they have to open the brain. Like this is where they find that protein. So Aaron Hernandez, I think, was another one that they said had CTE as well. And you guys know the crimes that Aaron Hernandez did as well. So yeah, you can't do a brain scan. So this is why typically when I don't know if it's like there's got to be something before, but I highly doubt, especially since they have to open the brain and check all that protein and stuff like that. They can't scan it. They can't. But yeah. So even if he does have it, it's just we don't know. We're talking about BJ Penn. BJ Penn. I guess we'll see. But hopefully he gets help. Yeah, thank you. Junior Seau was the other one too. Aaron Hernandez and Junior Seau. There is an assessment. I only know because I dated an ex-NFL player and he had taken the assessment due to a lawsuit against the helmet. So there is an assessment out there, but to truly know the diagnosis, it would have to be post-mortem, right? I don't know if the assessment can diagnose you though, Vicky. Let me know what you find. If you have any information on this, I'd appreciate it because I like to look into it. I feel like we've done content here and there. Like I remember of the football player who killed his mom and he fled to Mexico and he was posting a bunch of videos. There was another one. He was like playing college football. That was a thing too, guys. So keep that in mind. But people need to be careful around that because that shit is scary. I hate seeing, like, we're seeing all these things online and it's like signs, and then a tragedy happens and it's like, we could have prevented this, and we don't ever really get ahead of things like this. Interesting. All right, guys. Yeah, you can try to assess it and address it, but I don't even think there's a formal diagnosis for it, though. You said an assessment might diagnose you as possible and can confirm afterlife, pretty much. You said it is what it is. But the racism in the NFL has stated that those who are not white, well, they claim are a product of their social environment. Interesting. That's interesting. So they look at different factors and that being it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Rabbit, I don't think it's confirmed until after the person deceased. That's what I last heard, right? That's crazy. Like signs leading up to it though. So I'm kind of wondering about this. Maybe there's something to look into. Anyways, guys, well, that took us to a whole different rabbit hole. You guys are amazing. I appreciate everybody that was here. Hey, shout out to everybody that supported my channel today. I appreciate it. Wim, Brady, Pinche Becky, Don, thank you. Night Charm, Mirror and Moon, Pika, and Jay. Shout out to you, Jay McCarthy. I have to go because I gotta go tend to Baby Bunny and I haven't finished my taxes. So I gotta go finish my taxes. I'm tired. Ada, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Thank you. Shout out to you, Ada. Thank you again supporting my channel. I'm gonna let you guys go because I gotta go, but I will probably see if I can go live later today. We'll see, depending on how busy I get. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hit the like button. Have a great Sunday. Bye, guys. Bye.